Welcome to another sports segment of the Buckeye Vinny YouTube channel sports show. Sit back, relax. My friends, please subscribe. Please click on the like button. And most of all, please comment down below. Now let's get this video started. Today's video, and it's going to be a good one. The demise of James Franklin while at Penn State. And you know, my friends, I know this has been the talk of college football for at least 3-4 days now. And when you stop and look, we're talking about Penn State Nittany Lions that came in 2025 ranked preseason rankings number 2 in the country. This is a team that they were labeled national championship or bust. And boy, it was a bust. And the big reason why they were ranked number 2 is because they wanted to pull off what the Buckeyes did in 2024, winning a national championship, and what the Michigan Wolverines pulled off in 2023, winning a championship. And that was players that could have went on to the next level, the NFL, but decided to come back for one more season. It worked for Michigan. Wolverines won a perfect 15-0, and Jim Harbaugh won the national championship. It worked for Ryan Day last year. Ryan Day, 14-2, controlled his own destiny throughout the playoffs, and defeated Notre Dame in the national championship 34-23. Coach James Franklin knew that defense wins championships. Okay? So what's he do? He goes out, gets, last season, the best defensive coordinator in all of college football, Coach Jim Knowles. Now, last season, Knowles was a DC for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Just so happened that the Buckeyes had the number 1 defense in college football last year, yielding a stingy 11 points per game. So, on paper, Franklin thought he was doing everything right. Okay? Defense wins championships. Go after the best defensive coordinator. Pay him $3 million a year. Get him to leave Ohio State and come to Penn State. That's exactly what happened. But my friends, when you stop and look at it, the demise of Coach James Franklin while at Penn State, his record in bowl games, 6 wins, 6 losses. 500. Versus AP top 10 ranked teams. A miserable 4 wins, 21 losses. This really jumped out at me, and I had to really research this. Games decided, close games, decided by 10 points or less. 128, lost 28. My friends, that is not good. That is not good. He couldn't win the close game. Case closed. Big Ten record in James Franklin's career at Penn State, 64 wins, 36 losses. In his tenure at Penn State, only won the Big Ten conference title one time in 11 and a half years. One time, and that was in 2016. This is a big-time demise for James Franklin. And now you see why Penn State parted ways. Now you see why Pat Kraft, the athletic director, finally wiped his hands and had to make a decision and couldn't wait until the end of the season. I thought it was a good move. James Franklin record against Penn State, 1-10. Record against Michigan, 3 wins, 7 losses. This really jumped out at me. James Franklin record against top 10 Big Ten opponents, 1 win, 18 losses. Wow. Wow. You know, my friends, bottom line, right now James Franklin should just man up, and just admit that he brought this demise on himself. In all fairness, I gave him a pass when Penn State came back and tied that game against the mighty Oregon Ducks and Coach Dan Lanning, a very good Ducks team. Penn State found themselves down but came back, was able to get that game into OT, but once again, couldn't win the close game. And Oregon Ducks went on to beat Penn State in OT 30-24. And that was the downfall right after that. A week later, Penn State goes on the road, facing winless UCLA. Now, UCLA's football program was in shambles. Okay, they fired their coach. They had to scramble to get assistant coaches. And UCLA pulled off the Rocky Balboa upset by defeating the Penn State Nittany Lions 42-37. And just this past Saturday, in Happy Valley, Penn State losing a very disappointing loss to Northwestern Wildcats 22-21 after taking the lead in the fourth quarter. Now, my friends, I just gave a stat of James Franklin record in close games, 10 points or less, 28-28. That's not good. These games I just mentioned, these 3-game losing streak, was decided by 6 points or less, and he lost all 3. Now, I gave him a pass with the Ducks. UCLA was a very embarrassing loss. And let's be honest, Northwestern Wildcats really haven't played anybody. And they do have 4 wins and 2 losses. So, yes, that's better than Penn State at 3-3. But nonetheless, the Wildcats are not a very good football team. But they found a way to defeat Penn State 22-21 in Happy Valley. You know, I looked overall at James Franklin's record when it came to Big Ten. Like I mentioned, 64 wins, 36 losses. But he had 4 years out of the 11 and a half that he was under 500 in the Big Ten. He had 1 year, that was 2015, that he was at 500 at 4-4. And now you see why Penn State and athletic director Pat Kraft decided to part ways with James Franklin, which I thought was a good move. James Franklin came on the scene in 2014. His first 2 seasons combined in the Big Ten, dismal, 6 wins and 10 losses. His overall record in 2 years when he came on the scene, 2014 and 2015, barely above 500. He won 14 and lost 12. But Penn State, the school, the AD, continued to stick with him. You know, I stop and look. I really felt as though Coach James Franklin lost control of this football team in 2025. He truly did. I think all the hype of national championship or bust truly got to him pressure-wise. And let's be honest, coaches feel pressure, okay? You're number 2 to start the season in the country, and you're 3-3 right now with 2 out of 3 dismal losses to UCLA, at the time a winless team, and Northwestern Wildcats. Yeah, no doubt the pressure got to Coach James Franklin. And I think definitely at one point, maybe he just wiped his hands himself and figured this is not going the way that the media thought, the way that college football thought, the way that critics, once again, had Penn State at 2. Why? Because of all the talent coming back. It was actually a compliment to have them at 2. Katron Allen, Nick Singleton, 2 best running backs in college football were coming back. Drew Aller, who was there now for 4 years, a veteran quarterback. skilled set wide receivers, a very decent defense with Coach Jim Knowles as the defensive coordinator. So at the time, if you were Penn State, the sky was the limit. I know, I talked to some fans saying, we are Penn State. We're looking forward to 2025 season. But my friends, bottom line, you talk about a rocky last 3 games under Coach James Franklin. Boy, was it rocky. Talk about going downhill with no brakes. And that's what happened. Bottom line, my friends, it happens, okay? But I do believe that it was the right move on athletic director Pat Kraft to finally make a decision and part ways with James Franklin. And it's not as if they didn't give Coach Franklin a chance and an opportunity. They did. They truly did. Now, his overall record there, yeah, it looks good. 104 wins and 45 losses. That comes out to 70% of the games he won. But my friends, when he faced a team of equal caliber or maybe a little better than his, he couldn't deal with that. He could not. And he always had a reputation of beating the teams he should beat. Well, not this season. He should have stopped UCLA, and they lost. And he should have stopped Northwestern Wildcats, and they lost. Now, before I end this video, there was a stat that I read. It did not come from me, so I could be humble. This is not my stat, but a very good stat. That the start of 2025 college football, so far, teams that were favored by 20-plus points are 69-2 this season in 2025. The 2 losses, well, you can guess who were the 2 losses that came from. That's right, Penn State and James Franklin. My friends, if you are new to my channel and you haven't yet, please click the subscribe button. If you like this video, which I hope you all do, please click the like button. Like always, check out Super Thanks. And not only do I love to read your comments, but I love to get back. So please comment down below. Like always, my friends, peace out. God bless you all. Click on my face right up here. That is all Buckeye Vinny has for today. Until next time, keep the faith. Stay safe. Buckeye Vinny's out of here.